turned off. But you probably did want to break. And you may have even said some things that you didn't mean, or you may not have said things you didn't mean, but you might have expressed your frustration sometimes. And so you're feeling guilty about that. You're feeling so guilty about it. But, it's not your fault. We were born to be human and to feel these feelings, and it's just a part of life. And unfortunately, that's what we're doing, is we're living life, and it's not perfect. And it breaks my heart, because this morning, as I'm being frustrated and I'm sitting in my room and I'm getting ready for work, and I'm listening to my prayer app and listening to my Bible stories, and that's my time in the morning to go to God and pray and start my day off the way that I need it to be started off, so that I can be healthy, not only physically but mentally, because I suffer from an autoimmune disorder. And when I'm tired, or when I'm anxious, or when I'm stressed, my body hurts. It hurts so bad, and I'm in so much pain right now. And so that's my time to just relax and give myself to God. Well, my husband comes in my room, and he's crying and he's hurting, and I try so hard to relieve his pain, but I can't. And so he's frustrated, and I'm frustrated because he's frustrated. And I just want him to go back in his room. Yes, we have separate rooms. I just want him to go back in his room and maybe be suffer in silence like I do, and I'm not necessarily totally silent. I mean, I do say, oh, this hurts, or oh, that hurts sometimes, but I try really hard not to pull anyone else into it. I go to my room, or and so I found myself this morning just wishing that he would just go in his room so that I could worship the Lord and get fed what I need to be fed this morning, so that I'm productive and I'm good and I'm okay. And it just brought back so many hurtful feelings about when my son was at his worst, when my oldest son was at his worst. And when you're hurting so bad, whether it's mentally or physically, you want to do anything to get out of that pain. And in his case, it may have been drinking or whatever, and those things would then make him do things that he shouldn't do, and he would, you'd get into the fighting with your brothers, and it was just so hard. And so yes, the family would get frustrated sometimes because we couldn't fix him. We couldn't fix what was broken in him. And for me, my frustration was always like, just take your medicine as it's prescribed, and don't take anything else, and don't drink on it, and these things, because it won't be effective. And it's hard to tell a teenage boy that, don't drink on it, and this and that and the other, because they don't get it. They're just like, well, that's what 19-year-old, 18, 19-year-olds do. And so, but the more that he would do that, the less his medication would work. And anyway, I just found myself this morning feeling bad and feeling sad and feeling like I'm not a very good wife for feeling the way that I feel. And it triggers me to, because he's talking about dying, I just want to die, and all this stuff, and that is hard for me to hear. It's hard for me to handle. My chest tightens, I get anxiety, I want to cry. It's just so hard for me. And then I start feeling like, how selfish are you to be in here talking about this when I've lost so much. I've lost so much. And then my mind gets turned to what I've lost. And so it's an ever-ending cycle. And so, moms and dads, I encourage you to lift up the ones around you. Lift up the ones around you. And if you have someone that is not reciprocating to you like you want, or not treating you the way that you feel like you deserve to be treated, just evaluate yourself. And I know that we're all in a type of misery, but try hard to, like I tell my husband, don't speak your misery out loud. Don't give the enemy any kind of gratitude that he is winning the battle. Don't let him know how much that you're suffering, rather that's mentally or physically. Don't let him know, because, you know, and if you're going to speak something out loud, then you speak, you know, Satan, get away from me. Get out of here. You have no dominion over me. Leave me alone. Get out of my home. Get away from my husband. Get away from my children. You know, get out of my mind. Quit attacking me. Those are the things that you say. And then you just call out the name of God. You know, Jesus, 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 help me. But I have so many moms that have reached out to me and said, you know, I have no support. My relationship with my mom, my relationship with some of my children, it's gone since I've lost my child. And because they think that you should have already healed, they think that you should already be better. If you truly want that relationship renewed, or if you truly want that relationship, then start it in a sense, restart it in a sense that you only talk and love on them in the moment. You don't need to have to share how you're feeling with them. You can share that with God, you know. And if you're like me and a relationship's not worth being in, if you can't share your true feelings with, then you have to find a place in your life where you're comfortable or you're satisfied with not having them there anymore, and not mourn over that relationship. Because I hate to say it, but we can't have it all. And you know, you know, when my brother died, my parents divorced, and when my sons died, my husband went off the deep end and he couldn't handle it. And that's how some people handle things. I'm not saying, please don't ever think that I'm saying that my husband is a horrible person, because he is not. He's one of the kindest, sweetest, considerate men that I know. But when you're suffering, some people are weak, and they're much weaker than others, and you know, they turn to drugs or alcohol or whatever. You know, some gamble, some, you know, turn to excessive sex or whatever. You know, you choose an outlet to get out of your mind. And you know, it doesn't mean that they're horrible. It just means that if you can't handle that, and if that is bringing you down, and their behavior is bringing you down, and they're bringing you down, then you need to just walk away. Because at this time in our life, we need to focus on getting our mind straight and getting our body straight, so that we can raise our children, or be the best employee that we can be, or be the best that we can be, until we can stand up on our own. And sometimes that takes years after losing a child to be able to stand up on your own, to feel like you're not defeated. And it doesn't mean that even when you get to that point that you won't fall back feeling those same feelings every once in a while, because you do. You know, I just have to remind myself that God hasn't changed. His promises haven't changed. The only thing that changes is me. And I have to remember that, and I have to remind myself that, so that I can try and get back on track. was the most miserable I could be, and I was homeless and tired and hungry, and I worried about my son. And when I was at the worst that I could be, I don't know, I couldn't even imagine getting better. I couldn't speak anything that was positive because I was not positive, and it was so hard. And when someone would say something to me like, you just have to try, and you have to this, and you have to that, I mean, I just wanted to pop them. I just, like, what are you talking about? Why? How? Do you even know how to give me advice when you haven't lost a child? You're not going through what I'm going through. The enemy is not attacking you like he's doing me. How can you tell me that? So I get it. I understand. Some of you may be wanting to pop me. But trust me, where my words come from, where I'm coming from, is from experience. And it's from the same place where you are, where you've been, where you are. You know, I was there, you know. I watched my sons die. I, you know, heard their cries, and I've been there. And I don't like to remember those days, but I've been there. And so I know your pain. I know your pain. I pray for y'all. I pray for you this morning. But I know your pain, and it's normal. It's absolutely normal. It's a part of this journey, this horrible journey that we're on. But if you're like some of the moms that are reaching out to me, and you're miserable because no one wants to be around you, evaluate yourself. Evaluate yourself and say, would I want to be around me if I was someone else? Would I want to be in the same room with me? Because I'll be honest with you, back when I was at my worst, I wouldn't have wanted to be in the room with me. As badly as I needed someone, I was very, very, very lucky that I had great friends. Great friends. And I'm very happy that I was once a great friend to them, so that when I was going through my trials, my tribulations, and my horribleness, they were there for me. So just think about it. Would I want to be in the room with me? Have I been good to them? You know, I remember when I was hurting so bad, I would think everything that I've done there were certain people that weren't very good to me. And I would think to myself, everything that I've done for them and wanted to do for them, and the love that I have felt for them in my heart, how are they going to tell me what they're telling me? How are they going to switch how they feel today, tomorrow? How am I their best friend today, or they love me today, but tomorrow, they tell me, I can't be around you. I can't be around you because you're too sad and you're dragging me down. That's a hard thing to hear. It really is. And then to be told, whenever you get better, I want us to get back and be family again and be close again. But, right now I can't be around you. That's a hard pill to swallow. And I guess, I don't know. I don't want to say it's my pride. Maybe it's just the way that I am. But I'm like, okay, if you can't be there through the bad, why would I want to adopt you back into my life for the good? Why do I need you? I made it through the hardest parts of my life. Why do I need you now? It's kind of the way I think, and I'm not saying that how I feel and how I think is right. I may be a Christian, I may pray all the time, but I am still human, and I sin every day, and I fall short of the glory of God every single day. I am constantly saying, oh God, please forgive me for that. Please forgive me for those thoughts. I may not even respond or do an action, but my mind's there and I want to. And if it's in your heart, you've done it. So, but I just remember when that person reached out to me again. I didn't want anything to do with them. I was like, look, as much as you hurt me, life actually got good when you got out of my life. And so, don't really want you back in it. And so think about who you're mourning over now, the relationships that you're mourning over, and you're saying, oh, I wish I had that relationship again. I wish that person was in my life. How selfish and cruel of them to not want to be around me. Okay, I felt those same feelings, but think about it. Just as I did. Think about it. Or they just not compassionate people? Or they being around a person that is not only miserable, but that sucks the life out of everyone else? Okay, think about that, because I don't want to be the one who sucks the life out of anyone. I want to be the one who adds joy to someone's life. And when I do that, God fills me with joy. So think about the relationships that you're asking to be back into. Are they worth being back into? Is it going to be positive for you? Or is it not going to be good for you? Instead of maybe asking for that, how about ask God, please heal this relationship, heal our feelings towards one another, and God, if it is your will, then bring that person back into my life and restore our relationship. But if it's not your will right now, then let it happen at your timing. Your timing, Lord, not my timing, because His timing is the best. Ours is not. And you may think you want someone in your life right now, but they may not be good for you. They may not be good for your life right now. So, and that was the case with me. There was people that I thought I wanted in my life, but come to find out they weren't the ones that I needed in my life. So I'm glad that God didn't restore those relationships. Y'all, I have made it to work, and I'm on time this morning. I'm actually a little early, and that's horrible to say, but I ran out of my house to get peace. So I love y'all. Pray for me today as I pray for y'all. I love you so much. Bye.